The history of visual effects, or VFX in cinema, can be traced back to the early days of filmmaking. Not to be confused with special effects, which I will cover in another video, but VFX refers to digital imagery created or manipulated in post-production using computers or any form of alteration that happens after the filming of a movie. Although the process of VFX is planned even during pre-production of a film, VFX are an essential part of not just post-production, but the film overall. And this is my personal explanation of why VFX matter. In the late 1800s, filmmakers began experimenting with new techniques to create illusions on screen. One of the first recorded uses of visual effects was in the 1890s with pioneers like Georges Méliès, who used hand-painted glass plates and other tricks to create magical scenes in films. In A Trip to the Moon, Méliès used multiple exposures, model work and stop-motion techniques to create fantastical worlds that captivated audiences. This period laid the foundation of what would become a critical aspect of filmmaking, blending imagination with technological innovation. As the 20th century progressed, visual effects began to evolve with the advent of new technologies and techniques. During the 1920s and 30s, filmmakers like Willis O'Brien and Ray Harryhausen advanced the art of stop-motion animation, most notably in films like King Kong. O'Brien's work on King Kong brought the giant ape to life using miniature models and stop-motion, establishing a benchmark for cinematic creature effects. Meanwhile, Harryhausen, who worked on films like Jason and the Argonauts, used stop-motion animation to create highly detailed sequences involving mythical creatures, such as the iconic scene of the skeleton army in Jason and the Argonauts. These early VFX not only showcased a technical innovation, but also demonstrated how effects could be used to tell compelling stories that could engage and excite audiences. In the 60s and 70s, the VFX landscape expanded further with the development of optical printing and matte paintings, which allowed filmmakers to combine live-action footage with painted backdrops. One notable example of this is Stanley Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey, a film that set new standards for science fiction. Kubrick's meticulous use of models and matte paintings created the illusion of space travel in ways that felt both realistic and visionary. The film's seamless integration of visual effects with narrative is considered groundbreaking. Another key milestone was Star Wars, directed by George Lucas. The film's groundbreaking use of stop-motion control photography, miniatures and optical effects revolutionized the VFX and paved the way for the formation of Industrial Light and Magic (ILM), a company that would dominate the visual effects industry in decades to come. Star Wars showcased not only technical achievement, but also how VFX could help craft epic, immersive worlds that were central to the film's success. The 1980s saw a significant leap in the field with the rise of digital technology and computer-generated imagery, or CGI. Films like Tron, which utilized early computer graphics, and The Last Starfighter, which employed computer-generated models, were important experimental films that explored the possibilities of digital effects. However, it wasn't until Terminator 2: Judgment Day that CGI truly demonstrated its potential on a grand scale. Directed by James Cameron, Terminator 2 featured the iconic robot, a liquid metal antagonist that was brought to life using groundbreaking CGI techniques. The robot was able to morph into different shapes and even walk through walls, marking a milestone in VFX for its photorealistic appearance. The film's success cemented CGI as an essential tool for visual effects, offering greater flexibility and realism than ever before. The 1990s were a transformative decade for visual effects. As CGI began to dominate the landscape of big-budget films, one of the most significant milestones in this period was Jurassic Park, directed by Steven Spielberg. The film's groundbreaking use of CGI to create lifelike dinosaurs was a game-changer for the industry. The dinosaurs in Jurassic Park were a combination of practical animatronics and CGI, which blended together to create an experience that felt truly immersive and real. The film set a new standard for realism in visual effects and showed how CGI could be used not only for fantasy, but for biological creatures that felt organic and alive. The success of Jurassic Park also underscored the importance of collaboration between filmmakers, VFX teams and animators, as it took a unified effort to push the boundaries of what could be achieved with the new technologies. As the new millennium approached, VFX continued to evolve, with the growth of sophisticated digital tools that could replicate the real world with extraordinary detail. One key figure in this period was Knoll, a visual effects supervisor and co-creator of Photoshop, who worked on major blockbusters like Star Wars Episode 1 and Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl. Knoll's innovations in digital composing helped elevate VFX to new heights. The Matrix series, starting in 1999, directed by the Wachowskis, was another pivotal moment in visual effects history, as it introduced iconic innovations such as bullet time, a technique that allowed the camera to capture action from seemingly impossible angles and speeds. The visual language of The Matrix became a staple in the VFX industry, influencing everything from action films to video games. I cannot talk about visual effects without mentioning Avatar, directed by James Cameron. Pushing the boundaries of both visual effects and 3D technology, Avatar is often regarded as a milestone in the use of motion capture and CGI to create immersive photorealistic worlds, particularly through its depiction of the alien planet Pandora. The movie's use of motion capture technology, pioneered by visual effects artist Richard Taylor and his team at Weta Digital, allowed the film's characters, particularly the Na'vi aliens, to feel more human and emotional despite being entirely computer-generated. Avatar's success demonstrated that VFX could be not only a tool for spectacle, but also a means of deepening storytelling through digital environments and lifelike characters. Today, VFX is a critical part of virtually every film. It is often said that the best VFX are when you do not notice them at all. Most films use them in a way or another to delete what should not be seen, like cables, lights, change a detail that could be anachronistic for the story, and sometimes to make actors look young or even bring them back from the afterlife. Now, I really should address the elephant in the room. I cannot deny that recently VFX have been lacking quality in many recent films. But this is not the VFX companies or digital artists' fault. Recently, visual effects artists have been trying to unionize in order to get better payments, better time frames from studios in order to deliver good quality work, and make their voices heard when studios impose short and almost impossible deadlines. Deadlines that have caused VFX become rushed and therefore not as good as it used to be. I truly hope that artists are heard and we could have better visual effects in future films, because I have to be really honest, when the effects are bad or lack quality, they throw all credibility of the story out the window. The importance of VFX is no longer confined to fantasy and science fiction, and extends into dramas, comedies, and even historical epics. People like Peter Jackson with his work on the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and Andy Serkis, known for his groundbreaking motion capture performances, have redefined what is possible with VFX. The Avengers and its sequels brought superheroes to life with astonishing digital effects, with ILM and other VFX companies creating highly detailed environments and characters like Thanos or Davy Jones, who were brought to life through a combination of motion capture and CGI. As technology continues to advance, VFX is evolving, enabling filmmakers to create increasingly elaborate, realistic, and emotionally resonant worlds that transport audiences to places once thought beyond reach. The visual effects artists are an essential part of filmmaking, and I hope history is kinder to them in the future, because I truly think that VFX matter. Thank you for watching, and please hit the like button and comment what other filmmaking topics you want me to cover. Thank you and see you next time.